Radio Havana, Cuba. Havana, Cuba.
Hello there guys and welcome, it is Niran here, and today it is time for yet another episode of our Leicester City career mode here on FIFA 16. As you saw in the intro, today marks the episode where we first witness Luis Suarez in a Leicester City kit. Today he'll be making his debut. We're going through 4 games in today's episode, surprisingly, playing 3 against City, Liverpool and then United in the FA Cup, and then we'll be simming one at the end against Southampton just so we get through the series quicker, because there's the odd game that I really just don't need to play. But nevertheless, in the background you can see the squad report before we get into those very tough games. 3 massively big teams to face in both the league and in the cup. The only real growth of notice, to be honest, as we see Suarez there, 90 overall. There's Halilovic at 80 as well. We of course bought him and Demarai Gray as well as Suarez last episode in probably the best deadline day there's ever been. You guys loving that deadline day, so thank you very much for the support. But the only real noticeable growth in the month of February, because obviously we've now jumped out of the transfer window, was N'Golo Kante, who went up from 81 to 82, which is his maxed potential in this save. I think Michael Mijakic, our backup regen centre-back from Austria, also went up an overall to 77, but apart from that, the growth is pretty static this month. You can see the rest of the squad report in the background. If there's any players that you want to focus on, make sure to pause the video. There's a lot of players in this squad, a lot of players that we don't particularly need but just weren't able to sell. The likes of Olukanmi, Tom Lawrence, Harry Dunk, just random players from the youth academy or from real life that we just really didn't need but we just weren't able to sell. So we've got a very full squad and hence a very long squad report, but hopefully you guys do not mind that too much, and hopefully you guys don't mind my illness too much as well, which is why I'm having to pause and stop every now and again. But nevertheless, it is now time for the first played game of today's episode at the Etihad Stadium, away from home against Manchester City, of course. And they've got a pretty stacked team, the likes of Paul Pogba, but so do we now. As you can see, confirmation this is the debut for the Uruguayan superstar striker Luis Suarez, who of course faces his old club in the next game, being Liverpool, so you couldn't write a script better realistically. As you can see, here is a squad though in the background, basically an unchanged squad apart from obviously Suarez coming in, and also Nampalys Mendy's into the side as well. To complete our defensive midfield outlook instead of Danny Drinkwater. First chance of the game though going to Man City. Wilfred Bony there with the header, forcing a great save out of Loris Karius. But now Brayldon Embolo going forward. He's gone past Vincent Kompany. Can he shoot? Yes he can. It's saved by Joe Hart, but it falls to Luis Suarez, who is there to score on his debut. One of the easiest debut goals you will ever see. But Luis Suarez dedicating the goal to his ex-Liverpool strike partner, Daniel Sturridge. And it's a very easy goal, mainly made by Embolo, but Suarez is there as a poacher to score after the 18th minute. 18 minutes into his debut and he has scored already, and the Luis Suarez touch is already coming into play. Brayldon Embolo, they're going close with a header. We're starting to dominate, but we've got to watch out for City as well, and Wilfred Bony forcing another good save out of Karius, who's pulling out all of the stops today. Fukurata Masuaku with pace and power going past Zabaleta. Can he put a good ball in? Yes, he can. Brayldon Embolo is there to convert and make it 2-0. We've doubled our lead, and what an assist that is from the French left-back Fukurata Masuaku, our first ever signing in this save, still doing bits and still pulling off wonderful assists, this time for Embolo, and that 2-goal lead is giving our flair players all sorts of confidence. Domenico Berardi selling Yaya Toure a dream with that flick over the Ivorian's head. Not an easy feat to do, but City going forward, and what a save! That is again from Loris Karius to deny flipping Wilfred Bony for a third time in this game. A hat-trick of wonderful saves. That was incredible. Onto the crossbar from point-blank range. We've gone up the other end with a classic counter-attack. Domenico Berardi for Kante. going for the diving header. Oh my word, we're going forward again, and Bolo this time forcing the save out of Joe Hart, going close into the 89th minute. City still pushing forwards, but a wonderful block there from Nicholas Nkulu to deny, I think it was Nicholas Otamendi going forward as a centre-back, and that marks the end of the game. A 2-0 victory away from home at the Etihad Stadium against Manchester City. But what a performance from ourselves. Man of the match going to Karius after some incredible saves in that game. That one onto the crossbar was incredible. 8 rating as well for Mbolo, but the main man being Luis Suarez, scoring on his debut to help guide us to a win. Noticeable mentions as well for Domenico Berardi and Fukurata Masuaku, as well, of course, as anyone in that back four who helped us keep a clean sheet. In the background, you can see some training, but no noticeable growth in this week. So hopefully we'll see a little bit more later in this episode. But now it's time for the second game of this episode against Liverpool at the King Power Stadium. And going into it, we are the top scoring team by a distance. Only 1 goal off 50 and 8 goals ahead of the second best scoring team. No doubt thanks to some of the people you see on the screen, although Luis Suarez hasn't contributed that much because he's only just signed. But hopefully he can score again here against his old team. The only changes to the squad being Jeff Schlupp in for Fukurata Masuaku, who's tired, and Daniel Amati, who's also in for Nampalys Mendy for this game. But apart from that, the squad is the same. First chance of the game going to us. Domenico Berardi receiving the ball from the throw-in, trying to make things happen all on his own, and almost did. Simon Mignolet with the save. Some wonderful magic feet from Domenico Berardi. Resulting corner coming in, and N'Golo Kante, it was actually with the header. It was a free header as well. Arguably should have done a little bit better. Now into the 23rd minute, Domenico Berardi trying to work some space. Goes for the shot. It's deflected and it's fallen to that man again. Luis Suarez has scored again. Second time in 2 games he has scored. I realise he celebrated, but I forgot how to do the no celebration, so it wasn't my intention. I just forgot how to do it, and I didn't want to pause and all that sort of stuff. But nevertheless, we are leading 1-0 against Liverpool, and Luis Suarez, regrettably for Liverpool fans, has scored against his old club. But the team in red going for the equaliser, and they have found it already. Christian Eriksen, just what, 10 or 12 minutes later, rifles the ball into the top corner. That's a wonderful goal from the Dane, who's clearly signed from Tottenham. And after 37 minutes, Liverpool are on level terms into the second half, and Jeff Schlupp should be doing better. He blazes his shot high and wide of the near post, regrettably, into the second half. And now Liverpool going forward. Danny Ings finding Christian Eriksen, and another top-class save from Loris Karius to keep us at a draw. That was a wonderful save from himself, but regrettably, the final 20 minutes of the game really did peter out into nothingness, as you could sort of tell that both clubs, or both teams, didn't mind the draw. Liverpool just sort of passing it around the back. We weren't too fussed as well. A draw is a decent result against Liverpool, even though we have a very good track record actually against them. I think we've beaten them 4-0 3 times. Here though are the ratings for that game. Loris Karius again getting man of the match, an 8.3 rating for him. Amati, Berardi and also Luis Suarez with some good ratings as well. And it's been a wonderful start to Luis Suarez's career, it has to be said. 2 goals in 2 games. Regrettably though, we were unable to get the win in that game. But nevertheless, in the background you can see that Riyad Mahrez is wanting a pay rise, basically. He's saying, could we discuss wages? The reality is he just wants a pay rise. So we're going to offer him a new contract. Fukurata Masuaku actually as well was wanting a new contract, but at the end of the day, this is probably going to be the last season of this series. I did actually offer Fukurata Masuaku a contract, but he then went on to decline it. But it just doesn't matter, anyway. Riyad Mahrez, though, he accepted his new contract. That was a 60k a week in wages contract. So Riyad Mahrez getting that 15k a week pay rise, which is probably still nowhere near what he's getting paid in real life. But nevertheless, it is now time for the third and final played game of today's episode in the FA Cup against Manchester United. I don't quite know what round of the FA Cup this is. I think it's the 5th round, maybe? What I do know, though, is it signals the debut for that man on the screen there, Demarai Gray, after signing from Birmingham for £4 million. It's also a first start for Alen Halilovic. He's come off the bench before in a game. I think he came off the bench against City. This is his first start. He's playing on the right-hand side. There is the rest of the squad. Quite a lot of changes due to fatigue, because this was a midweek game. So Vardy and Zahavic are in. Halilovic also in as well. And as you can see, we should have a penalty, because Fellaini has just wiped out Nampalys Mendy. A wonderful save there a few moments later from Kasper Schmeichel. But Fellaini completely wiping out Nampalys Mendy. We should have had a penalty. United, though, going forward for a second time. And Neymar, this time having tested Kasper Schmeichel a moment ago, puts a ball to the back post, and Wayne Rooney has somehow managed to score from that angle. Don't ask me how. Mujakic, unfortunately, was outpaced by Neymar, but he went on to have a very good game. Alen Halilovic, though, trying to make things happen on his own and going for the finesse shot. The young Croatian looking pretty promising, actually, from a very early stage in this game, so definitely watch out for him. Vardy, though, trying to find Demarai Gray, but a block there from Daley Blind to deny the Englishman a debut goal. Alen Halilovic, though, trying to make things happen again. He's found Luka Zahovic in the centre. And Luka Zahovic, the Slovenian young goal machine, in comparison to what he should be able to do, has put us back on level terms in this cup tie, set up by Alen Halilovic, who's been by far our best player at this point in the game, really making things happen. Well done to him. Into the second half, the United going forward. Wayne Rooney with a shot. And I am not going to lie, I 100% thought that was in from Wayne Rooney. A few minutes later, Nampalys Mendy's been dispossessed by Marouane Fellaini, but a wonderful challenge from Mujakic to deny Morgan Schneiderlin. He got the ball again, but Kasper Schmeichel was out there to deal with it. Wonderful challenge from Mujakic, though, to stop him in the first place. Into the last 5 minutes, and Halilovic trying to win things again on his own. He does look very good, does Alen Halilovic, but unfortunately that is the end of the game, a 1-1 draw, so it will go to a replay. You can see the ratings in the background. A 7.7 for Drinkwater was enough to give him man of the match. And now you can see training in the background. A 1-1 draw, though, for against United, means we will have to play a replay at some stage. That will probably be next episode sometime, so it's more fixture congestion, regrettably, but some pretty good performances there, I've got to say. The likes of Alen Halilovic, Mujakic, and Zahovic really impressing me. Certainly Alen Halilovic. He was my man of the match, realistically. Now time, though, for the final game of today's episode, and it's a simmed one against Southampton in the Barclays Premier League, away from home. A very tough run of fixtures we've had in all competitions this episode, it has to be said, and Southampton have taken the lead after 26 minutes. Dusan Tadic, the Serbian, giving them the lead there in the first half, so it's 1-0 to the South Coast side. Christian Fuchs has come off the bench and then got injured, so he's been replaced by Zahovic. Thankfully for us, though, Mbolo equalised. We could, though, have won the game as Luis Suarez missed a penalty. That would have been 3 from 3 for him, because he didn't feature, I don't think, against United. So that would have been 3 goals in 3 games outright for him. As it turns out, though, it's two goals in 2 played games. Whatever the circumstance, though, it's drop points against Southampton, which is a little bit disappointing. But now it is time for me to bring back player of the episode. It was gone while we were in a transfer window, just because there'd then be too many votes for people to do in the description. But now that we're out of the transfer window, it is back. And I've got 3 choices for you guys when it comes to players that should be winning, perhaps, player of the episode. The first is Loris Karius, who got man of the match in the first 2 games of today's episode. After that, we've got Braille Donald Mbolo, who scored against Southampton in the sim and also scored against Manchester City and also created Luis Suarez's first goal for the club. And finally, someone I've just mentioned, Luis Suarez himself, who scored twice in today's episode, once against City and once against Liverpool. In the description, there'll be a straw poll. You guys can vote on who your player of the episode is, and that will decide which of those 3 players plays every single game of next episode. But in the meantime, you can see the table in the background. We're a point clear of Chelsea, but we've played a game more, so they could go above us if they win their game in hand. Arsenal are also closing in on both of us after we both really tripped up this episode quite substantially. Liverpool still down there in 17th in the table, and Southampton, the team we just dropped points against, are down in the relegation zone in 18th. So not ideal for either of them, but nevertheless, that is the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed, feel free to hit the likes button, subscribe if you're new around here as well, and comment about enjoying the video if you enjoyed it that much. Don't forget as well to vote for your player of the episode to see which player plays every single game of the next one. But it's been a pleasure ranting to you guys today. Have a good day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.
No, that's not me. Act like a waste man, that's not me.